In this video, I will show you how to bind off. I'll be working a typical bind off, which is worked knitwise, meaning that you are knitting a stitch before you bind off. Whenever you bind off, at the very beginning, you always work 2 stitches first. This is because in order to work a bind off, you need 2 stitches on your right hand needle. So let's go ahead and knit the first 2 stitches. Okay, so now we have 2 stitches on the right needle. You're going to insert your left needle into the front of the furthest stitch on the right needle, like this. And then you're going to lift it up and over the other stitch and off of the needle so that you only have 1 stitch on your right needle. So that is 1 bound off stitch. Now moving forward, because you already have 1 stitch on your right needle, you're only ever going to be knitting 1 stitch before the bind off. So let's knit 1. Now we have our 2 stitches on the right needle. So insert your left needle tip into the further stitch on the right needle. One thing that I find that helps is I'll use my left index finger to anchor my right needle a little bit. And I'm going to lift that stitch up and over the other stitch and off of the needle. So that's 2 stitches bound off. I'm going to keep going in this manner all the way to the end. And when you get to the last stitch, you knit it, then you'll bind off that last stitch so that only 1 stitch remains on your right needle. What I do is I sort of lift my needle up a little bit just to make the loop a bit bigger. Take my needles, put them aside. So here we have all of our bound off stitches. We have our last little loop here. I'm going to cut the tail. I always make sure to leave a nice long tail for weaving in later. Then I'm going to take my tail and I'm going to insert it in the loop, and feel free to kind of lift that loop a little bit bigger if it's easier. So take the tail and you want to put it through the loop. Like that. And then you're going to cinch it, but just cinch it gently. Like so, and then you sort of just bring up that knot just a little bit with your right hand there. There we go. We have now bound off our stitches.